And we're live, and I'm saying child. Um, and I lost my train of thought as we went live. Welcome to Wild. I'm Diana, and I'm here with Ashton and our special guest Elisabeth, who also happens to be an author of a few books that I hope she brings up on the show. And we're just gonna dive right in and get started. And Elisabeth, if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, about I guess what makes you tick and what really inspired you to pick up the pen and paper and start writing.
Well, I have been writing for a long time. I like I have a lot of family that tell me that they can remember me walking around with a journal and writing and all that from a very young age. Um, I loved to read as a kid, and I think that had a lot to do with it, and just wanting to make my own story that other people can enjoy. And I did start with poetry, and I started. I actually won my first contest at 11 in
Oh
school.
wow! Yay! Congratulations.
That is
Thank you.
so cool.
That is
It
so
was
It's
cool. I
amazing
was
to even
always too scared
enter.
to enter contests. I was too judgy
it
of
was
myself.
Same. That's
yeah,
cool.
But
thank
that
you.
is cool. That is, definitely cool. Good confidence to keep going with what you love.
And it was that one, and then I kind of I just read after that, and until I turned 15, 16, I started writing again, and then I started just writing anything that really came to mind, really. And late after that, I went to college, and I took a lot of classes, and I
Did you
joined the
major in creative writing?
I did. Well, I didn't exactly major in it at first. I was a liberal arts student, and I
Hmm.
was just kind of trying to feel everything around. I had a lot of people who told me that you shouldn't get into writing. If you do that, then you're going to have a job to be able to do this and to do
To
that and to
support
pay
it,
for
yeah.
this. And it really discouraged me for a long time. And until I went to college, and I was going for a completely different reason. And I had a friend of mine, Austin Gillis. He approached me, and he was like, "You know what? You should really take Miss Ford's writing class. It's a creative writing class, and I think you'd really like to do it." And I was like, "I'll check it out." And then the next semester, I joined it, and I loved it. It was exactly what I'd always wanted, and I really didn't realize that things out there were out there that resources out
Hmm.
there like that,
Oh,
and people that were like minded like me that enjoyed writing, and I just loved college so much because I learned so much there, and I
Oh,
picked
that's
up.
so awesome. I wish I loved college that much.
I did. I really did. I was homeschooled, and I homeschooled my own kids. But
Hmm.
I was so glad to be in college. So I don't know. I really enjoyed my time there, and I I could have studied a lot harder than I did, but I was having a good time too. And I took the creative writing course, and then after that, I took the next two that she had, and everything that teacher had taught there,
this
and
is the professor you mentioned in the
it
article,
is
right?
it
See,
is
that was one of my questions. I was so curious. Yes. Okay. I'm so happy to hear that. I needed some connections. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
yeah.
But
Just,
now
She
I need more
you're fine.
insight
at
to the professor.
she her well her name is Marilyn Ford, and she was one of those people that really took me under her wing, and I kind of get really emotional about it because it was a very big moment in my life, and she took me under her wing, and she helped me like really see that I had a gift that I could
Hmm.
I
That's
could
so
do something.
important. Yes.
And she really tried to show me, like, I would help her grade papers and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and I spent a lot of time with her outside of class. But she told me, she was like, look, you need to try to enter into this writing contest. Like, all of the creative writing students were doing it, and
Mhm.
I was just like, I just don't know. I don't think, I have anything that's that good. And so I put some stuff in, and I ended up winning the statewide competition with one of my poems. And the thing is that I didn't know. I didn't know that I had won it. And she was like, okay, I need you to come to the award show and like root on all of the classmates and stuff. And I wasn't going to get an award or anything. So I
Mhm.
was like, I was going there to be supportive. And I
Yeah.
got there, and they called my name out for 2 awards.
Oh.
And I bawled my eyes out. And I went, and she
Oh.
she was the one who gave me my award. And it was
Oh,
just
that's
like
so
Oh,
the best.
beautiful.
They took a picture of me with crying and all that stuff, and it was
oh,
it was like a turning point for me. And then life happens, and you listen to the wrong people after that, and I kind of sidetracked. And I also
Mhm.
felt like the writing that I wanted to put out in the world, that I didn't have enough life experience of my own,
Mhm.
to really be able to say what I wanted to say. And I didn't feel like I just had enough experience to do that. So I like lived my life for several years, and it was like the me wanting to write and to be an author was just so far and so unobtainable. And I work all the time, and
Mhm.
so I didn't have any time. I had a young son at the time too, and I finally it just kind of clicked. And it took the loss of both of my parents to really
Mhm.
hammer that in for me, that life is very short, and
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of time on this earth. And I just want to do something that I can be proud of, and that my kids can be proud of me.
Yes.
And I
yeah.
can give to them one day, because I made two pen names for that reason. So I could give one to my daughter and one to my son.
Oh,
And
that's so
Oh,
and
beautiful. Oh,
that's
I love that.
what an
but
I
idea.
love
I'm
that. No, I
I'm
just
trying not to
I
cry.
love it.
Oh, your
And
story's beautiful. I'm trying not to cry over here.
yeah,
Uh,
I
it's
really do
it's
love
I
that, and
love
I can
I love
relate so
writing.
much to it. Yeah, I can relate to that sentiment and statement. So basically, everything you've been saying, I could really
Uh-huh.
relate to. So I'm just secretly trying not to intervene because I really want to hear your story
Yeah.
instead of mine.
Me too, Diana. Me too. At at some point, Elizabeth, you've got to give Diana a little premise of caller number 5.
Okay.
However much
Yeah,
or however little.
about the story,
Only because
the
she hasn't read it.
inspiration,
So
everything.
caller number 5. I don't know if you can see this. I need to put my
I
hand
do
up,
love
but
the book cover.
the
I
book,
will.
Ah,
I
tell her
will.
about the book cover.
I painted the whole thing. Like, I painted this. I cut out
No
all the little
way.
pieces for it, and I watched a lot of Bob Ross videos before I did it. I love Bob Ross,
Oh,
and
but
so
wow.
I kind of, how they always make the joke about that Bob Ross was hiding bodies in his pictures. Well, it's kind of like that. What I
Oh,
wanted
I
it
love
to be.
that.
So it's the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's about a travel nurse named
Hmm.
Cat Walker. And I really don't want to give a lot away to it, but
No, no, just a little, enough so she can
Just a
kind of know.
little.
so there's so much.
I
She
need
but
to
she
know, like, is this like, am I going into a thriller category or
it's
healing?
a it's like a psychological thriller. It has a
Oh, I
little
love
bit.
that. Okay,
It has a
yeah, I
little.
like that.
I tried to like,
Twisted. Twisted needs to be in there with psychological thriller.
yes. but it
Go
has
ahead.
a little bit of everything in it. I try to put a little bit of humor and a little bit of horror
Mhm.
and a little bit of spice in it because I want everybody to have a look something to take away from it. But um, there's several characters that's in it. There's a sheriff named Bucky Ballard, and then he has his cousin named Bus Ballard, and they all kind of just she kind of they run into each other
Mhm.
in a way whenever she comes into town, and it it ties in with her and her love of radio and the Love
Uh-huh.
Doctor.
Interesting.
It's so
But
interesting.
it it's so hard to talk about it without giving it away. It's like writing a blurb. But
Yeah.
they're on the case of her, and she's a character. They're all
Characters.
special. But
It's written so well. You literally have to the very last page. It all comes together like the fact and I can't even go
I love
but
the
it's
ending of
good.
it.
Yeah,
The ending,
Ashton is
the
So
ending
definitely
is
good.
wanting
so
me
good.
to read it, so I will have. This is definitely making my summer reading list.
You
It is.
won't be able to put it down. It's
Oh,
one of
I
those.
need. Yeah, I love those books. I need some of those books. It's been a while. I've taken a break from reading. I've been doing.
I love that type. Like not that it's
Yes.
mindless. It keeps you thinking, but it's totally because I read all the genres that are all like I need to pull my journal out sometimes and record. Like this was
Yes,
just
and then
I
Right.
was
when you get into a book
in
where you're
it.
just like, okay, wait, no, this intertwines, or for me as a memoirist, I needed to. Does it intertwine? Is this something I'm learning from? And then I have to pull out everything else, and then it becomes part of my research, right? My own book. So
Right.
then I can't enjoy it at all because it's part of research for the
Right.
book.
Well, and I take it back now because Elizabeth, I sent you that screenshot of those quotes. That was before I ever even thought about interviewing you. Like that, you know what I mean? I was just reading it. And
Oh
there's
yeah,
these very
you did.
interesting words of like quotes from the
And that
characters that I had to keep in my journal.
oh
I
yeah,
forgot
and
about that.
that one
So
quote
it
that
did
you
influence me
chose, I
too.
love that one too. That's one of my favorite quotes that you actually chose out of the bruised fruit one. That's one of my
What's the
favorite ones.
quote?
I don't have my notebook. Could you either if you can easily bring it up? I don't have anything close
I
by.
think it's on. I thought I had it. Maybe not.
Journal.
I,
You've got to read it, Diana, and come back to us.
Yes, yes, I do.
I don't have it. I don't have it marked. I don't, and I don't want to take up a bunch of time to.
No, that's
Well, don't
okay.
worry. I
Sorry,
know. I wish I had it
I'll
closer.
start
I
reading
forgot.
it.
Well,
But
can I tell y'all? I don't. Diana wouldn't know this by any means. So the way I met, or the way that I received Elizabeth's book, I guess you know this, right? Your brother and one of my good friends are like besties, and she was
yes,
like, "Oh, you'll love this book." She know where she's. It's one of my best friends is we're in a book club, and so
Uh-huh.
we read all the different genres. And she's like, "You got to order it." And she tells like everybody, but I'm the one who always is like, "We have a friend, an author friend." Like I immediately got it, and I'm like within just a few days, and then I passed it to Julie. That's why I had to remember where. Like we've been passing just the one around
yeah.
us because I'm like read it and everybody's reading it so quick. But where do you live? I can't remember where you live.
Me, I am from Mississippi. I'm actually
Miss-
from Akron, Mississippi.
So, but I'm in Florida, and your brother's in where? California or Vegas?
He's in California now.
California.
Yeah,
And so,
he
I
went.
don't know. I just think it's a cool
Oh
little
wow,
connection.
but still,
I
what a
think
weird kind of connection.
it is. It is. I mean, most people wouldn't think.
Universal, we'll call it special, universal.
I always like to hear how people meet each other because I think it's so cool how I found you, Diana, or you found me, whichever
Yeah,
way you.
I don't even know which is which, but I really do love it, and I always love the social media, especially Facebook connections, where we have this great opportunity to connect with other writers and connect with other creators and artists. And I find that my journey as a writer was always so lonely, and I never liked that loneliness. But I feel like even just growing up, there was always just competition with writing, and it had to be secretive or it had to be this. And I found that I had to change that. That had to change. If I'm gonna write, it has to change. And so I just started my Facebook page and I started writing and writing, and whatever creations came to mind, I started, and then I just expanded into groups. And out of nowhere came Ashton and said, "Hey, I like your poetry. Let me publish it." I'm like, "Yes, please. I'll give you all of it. Publish."
It's
I love
ah,
that.
but I followed you for like a year before I ever even created the magazine Wild Homes and Gardens. Like it's so like you were always in my head as I created this magazine. Like I always hoped that I don't know. It's just
That
this interesting like social media gets such a bad rap, and it does have all the things wrong, but also it's so cool to just be able to be
to
in the
be
loop with
able to
Yeah.
here.
envision something and then put it out through social media and then receive it, it
Yeah.
works good. Yes, there's downside to it, and I don't know if I feel like getting into that
But
today.
I
We can do another show on Wild, and that's what you're actually listening to right now on Jess FM and Jess TV. Diana, and I'm here with Ashton, and our special guest is Elisabeth Blackwood, and she's the author of Caller Number 5 and a few other books that we're actually going to start heading into discussion while we have time. I know you have a few ones that I want to highlight, and you do have a children's book, and I have a children's book, and I want to quickly discuss that. So, did you illustrate the children's book yourself?
I did. I did the
Oh,
whole
wow.
thing. I was really proud of it. I How I did it was I drew a background and then I scaled down pictures and I cut them out and then I just kind of moved them around and took pictures of them.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was really fun. I just I've always been like a terrible colorer. I always color outside of the line. So I
Oh,
was so
I'm definitely out of the box
worried.
type of complete.
blurry.
That's why I'm so
Yes.
in awe. I didn't even dare to try to illustrate. I wrote the words, and my mission has always been I need to find somebody who's just a brilliant artist. So much, just like there's no way I could have thought of letting myself do it. But I do sometimes think that my daughter should illustrate it when she's ready because she is a very talented
That would be a very good
artist.
idea. I
Right?
would
That
love
would be
yeah,
because the book is still there. It can always be re-illustrated because obviously I own the copyrights, and that's one of the
that's
good
right.
things about it. Is that I can always twerk it, change it, and work with do whatever really without a second thought. So can you share your book, just the
Oh yeah.
pictures? So
Yeah, I had this is the cover. I don't know if you can see it. It says
Fable
Fable
Friends. Oh, so
Friends.
cute.
Fable
I
Friends
like
by
the socks.
yeah. JB Foljam is the pen name for it, and that's actually what my grandparents called me when I was little was JB Foljam, and so that was like my pet name, and I wanted to kind of keep it going,
Oh, I
and
love that.
I just, I mean, I have. There was this one. This one is from Pugsley the Pug. I don't know if you can see it though,
Yeah, I can see it. I can. That's good.
but
Yeah.
it's. I took a long time to do this. I mean, it took about 2 weeks, complete hours to to get it done. But I mean, I was proud without how it turned out. And
Oh
Oh,
no,
these
I mean it's great.
and
Yeah,
this little flower right here, actually, this was cut out, and so was the dog and the table and everything. And I just kind of put it in the room, and the room's empty, and I just put all the furniture in there, and it was really fun to do. And that's probably how I'm going to do the next one too, if I get around to doing that. But I'm working on the young adult fantasy right now. But this
oh,
one,
what is
it's
the young fantasy about? Or
it
wait,
is.
you have another. So you have a lot
I
of
have
books.
no, 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 no. This is just the same one, but the Fable Friends. It has three stories in it. One of them is Dawn the Fawn. It's about a little deer that gets lost in the woods, and she gets an owl helps her to find her mom. And then there's Pugsley the Pug, and it's about a little pug that meets a caterpillar, and
Oh,
he
that's
becomes
cute.
friends with him, and then he turns into a butterfly, and it's really cute. And the narrator who did it, he did a phenomenal job. His name is Daniel Butchery. He's on
Mhm.
he's on Facebook too. And then Franny the Fox, this was the illustration for it, and I hope you can see that. But I loved how it turned out, and there's Franny.
Oh,
But
I love the fox. Yes.
and I had like several animals in that story, and I just kind of they were cutouts too, and I just moved them around and took pictures, and then you know just set it up that way, and that
That's so
that
creative. That would
That's
have never
so
crossed my
cute.
mind to do. So, I mean, kudos, amazing. That is incredibly
well, I
creative.
had to I had to find a way to illustrate it without me messing up my drawings, because I can't draw the same thing twice. So that this was me trying to fix my own problem. And I mean, there's usually a solution for everything. You just got to take time to really find out what it is. And that was mine, was just taking my time, and I used an X-Acto knife to get them all cut out just the right way, and it turned out well. I really do. And the audiobook is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes too. And the audiobook for caller number 5 will be out in a couple of months also.
Oh,
And
awesome.
Oh
and
my gosh,
it
and I got a sample
I
and it's good.
know
I love her. She
her
does it
name
so well.
is Stephanie Triplet. And I didn't wait for auditions for caller number. I just looked for one because I was so excited to get started on it. And she was perfect. She was like,
It's
I would
perfect.
love to do it. And she has enjoyed the entire process of all the characters, getting to know the characters, and she's great. She really is. And she's like
I'm
we're adding
loving
in
it.
sound effects and stuff like that that go along with the story to just kind of make it feel more immersive. And I've never thought that I would make an audiobook in my entire life, but here I am. Working on my second one, and I mean, whose life is this? Is this my life? But
Oh, I
it's
love that.
amazing. But for right now, that's all I have published. But I am working on a young adult fantasy, and I'm working with another author. Her name is R.R. Miller, and she's a new indie author, just like I am. And she's writing from one perspective, and I'm writing from another perspective. And
Oh, that's
Oh,
fun.
it's different. It's different, and there's lots and lots of point of views in this. There's so many characters in it. Not as many as Game
ooh,
of Thrones, but it's a lot of characters, and it's Irish Celtic influences in it, and because I love that, I love Ireland, and I'll actually be writing from an Irish boy's perspective, so
Oh,
it'll be
interesting.
different. It'll be different for me too, and I cannot wait
fun.
to do the audio book for that and look for the the guy that is going to voice it. So that's going to be exciting.
That is
Um,
exciting. So, what does your creative process entail when you sit down to write, or even just avoiding writer's block and so on? And
oh,
what would be your advice to the authors, the writers out there, or might I say those who are still scared to even call themselves writers? What would be your
Ooh.
best advice?
oh yeah. Saying that you're a writer holds a lot. It really does, because people, when you say that, they're like they hold you to a different standard than other people, because you're writing. You're supposed to be writing words, things that have some kind of substance to them, and if you don't have anything to show for it, it is discouraging. It makes you not want to share that you are a writer. I've been there, been afraid, because they're like, well, what have you published? And I didn't have
Right.
anything. My advice is, as I have been told, is to just write. Just write whenever you get a chance to. I'm a mother. I have very little time to write to myself to when I can get one of my thoughts together that I can sit down and write. I can do a lot, and it's sitting down to write. And then
Mhm.
Yes.
um fighting writer's block. I think I've had writer's block, but I use a lot of prompts, like you can find them all on the internet, and just anything, and it just be like a sentence or a picture or anything, just anything to get your mind and the creative juices flowing,
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh yes.
do that. You can journaling's
Mhm.
great, and but I always will suggest do try writing prompts, because it just gives you something to work off of that you don't have to think of yourself, and then by then you've already, how you
You'll
read
go,
things.
yeah, you're getting there. I found a Threads community that I really enjoyed because it did that for me. And I would read little, snippets of poetry, and then that just clicked. And then I ended up just writing a poem a day, and it was just coming and coming and just snowballing, just because I was just getting inspired from little snippets of other writers and their perspectives. And I think that's why it's so important to for creators to really connect, because
Yeah,
there's so much inspiration to be drawn from one another.
it
What did
is.
you
It really
what was it
is.
called? Threads? What were you
Yeah,
talking
Threads,
the
have you
messenger
been in
part?
Threads? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it's like off of Instagram, but part of Insta, I don't know.
I
I'm
know
Anyway,
on
what you're
Threads.
talking about. Okay, okay. I just was making sure I heard
yeah,
you right.
are you on Threads?
I'm on
No.
Threads
Do you have
too.
the same experience that I did? I don't know if it's just how I popped into this little community, but I really enjoy it because it just sparks my creative poetry. I get on there every morning, I read something, and then I write something.
Oh, I love
I do
that.
like Threads. It's very simple, and like there's not like a lot of like pictures
Yeah,
and
and
stuff.
then I bounce off because I think there's a word limit. So my snippet goes there, and then if there's a poem in it, then I take it to Facebook. So I like to work on social media. So my work is completely always exposed and transparent. And that's really just, I want to say it's a great marketing scheme, but that's really because I continuously lose my work. So I figure if I post it on social media, it's out there and it will always be out there. Rather than if
Yeah,
I saved it on my computer, if I wrote it in a journal, or if I just wrote it on a piece of paper, because I will definitely lose it and I will never find it again. And
right.
I know, I'm with you. That's how I feel about pictures on social media. I put
right?
everything on there because I don't want to. Everything else can. The hard drives, I loot the same.
Yes.
Knock it on wood, but
Yeah,
But
my
as you
computer
post it
just
on
recently
social
died, so
media,
I know.
and then Facebook does
oh,
great. They remind you, oh, remember this memory for 15 years ago? It's like, of
oh,
course
I
I do.
love
How
memories.
wonderful.
The things that we were saying before our grandmas were on social media, or maybe it's just
I
me.
know.
I don't know. But the memories reminds me
Yeah.
often.
It was a different time back then. When did it all start? What,
Different time.
2009? Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Oh, that's when I joined Facebook in 2009, and
Yeah, it
yeah,
was 2000.
this
Yeah.
is definitely different. It was straight off of MySpace before that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. MySpace.
And
Yeah.
I liked MySpace. I thought
I
MySpace
love
was nice.
MySpace. I miss
I like
MySpace so
MySpace,
much.
but I had someone steal my picture and like my name
Oh,
and my account and create their own. And I tried to contact MySpace and be like, but this person stole, and they didn't do anything about it. And I felt really heartbroken because there's this person pretending to be me, but
yeah.
they're not me. And I,
Oh, that was just the beginning of it all, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeesh.
Tom
yeah,
should have did something about that. Tom, where was
Tom.
he? Yeah,
I interrupted you, Elizabeth. I feel like you were on such a good
sorry.
train of thought. And
Oh,
it's
where
tough.
was I?
So something along the lines, like you had my interest, writing, finding time. Like that's what I was super curious. Because you're a mom, like finding
yeah,
Oh,
time, how to not guilt yourself, and of course, like writing, like you said exactly. Like it feels
it
like you're
does.
not showing something, and you are showing something. You're feeling something, and you're
Right.
feeling it all. But so wait, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with all the time and the telling people like I need to write? Do you want mom to
Oh,
go crazy?
it's difficult. I'm glad that I have a loving husband who tries to give me as much time as he can whenever he's off work and everything. And it's really hard to find time. But Google Docs has really saved my life in that area, because I can just pull it up on my phone and write. If I have an idea, I can just jot it down, and then I can access it from everything, my
Oh, I
computer,
never thought of doing
everything.
that.
You
That's
should
For
do
some reason,
smart.
when I have to write, that's part of like a book. I have this requirement of myself that I have to sit in front of a computer and type. But I don't
Mm.
know why I have that requirement.
Well, you
It's
can do
your
it with your
See,
phone.
my brain didn't even go there. I can just pull it up on my Google Docs and boom, have it in front of my phone.
okay.
It has really. I can be downstairs, or I can come up here on my phone, and my computer can still be downstairs, and I can still work on everything. I can work on it out of the house anytime I want to. I really suggest Google Docs.
I think that's
I have so
brilliant.
many documents, and it's really made everything a lot easier. It doesn't help me with managing my time, though. I wish it did that. But
But
I
writing, we're talking about writing, always writing. Anytime you have a moment.
anytime I have notebooks laying all over the house, and if I find if I find the time that I can do it, if I'm in the kitchen cooking, I have a notebook, and I'll write whatever it is down. I wrote a lot of scenes from Caller Number Five in my kitchen. so
Oh,
Oh wow.
so it's and then I would just kind of copy it over on the Google Docs, and then just take that piece of paper and put it over in a folder, because it's going to be worth a lot of money one day when I'm a famous author. Uh,
Yes.
that's that's what I'm saying. I'm claiming it. I'm going to put it out in the universe, and I'm going to be one. So um, I really suggest just writing whenever you get a chance. Like, don't stop. Don't let anybody stop you from writing. Um, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't. That
That's
was
right.
my
And
problem.
then you're
Like,
just stopping yourself.
I wanted to be
And
an
then you're just in your
author
head saying you're not good enough. And then
years ago.
you're too scared to open the computer. And I went through that whole ordeal. And I will definitely admit that I'm a better, happier person now that I allow myself to write. It was almost like a form of punishment. Like I punished myself because I failed
Yes.
at this portion of life. So I'm gonna stop writing because I don't deserve to. It was really weird.
mm. I
And
feel
I
though.
feel like
I
I'm just having
do.
this breakthrough right now on air, live. And I'm going to use this moment to reintroduce the show. So, yes, I feel like I've just had this breakthrough live on Wild, airing on Just TV, Just FM, 101, Canada, and all major social media platforms, including Facebook Live and Apple TV. And now we
Whatever.
can continue on to the major breakthrough that I had that I completely just blanked on. But I know it's been
I love
recorded
that.
and stated, so it's all good.
But you were saying that with when you have time to write, and then you get to write. I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
you back.
we went back. Yes, I got it back. I was saying that I punished myself so I would stop
Mm.
writing.
Yeah,
So
that was
even
it.
just hearing you just say, "Oh, I even have a notebook in the kitchen," to me is like, wow, you allow yourself to do that. I don't know if I'm even at that point yet because I
No.
am so strict with when I allow myself to do something that I love so much, and that's writing. And
And to
it's
take
really
over
me
your mind
arguing
for a
with
moment,
myself.
it feels selfish.
Yes, and it's like,
Yes.
no, but it's not even a worthy thought, or why do you even need to write it down? What, your memory doesn't work that well? You can't memorize
Oh,
it and then sit
not
down in front of a
anymore.
computer and type it all up. And I have lost a lot of great thoughts that way. I want to,
That's what makes me write them all down, because then I have the guilt for not writing them down when I should
yes,
have.
then there's the, yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
but I get the guilt because I mean I stopped writing for 6 years, and I just
Yeah,
kind of
I
gave
feel
up
you.
on it. Never thought that I would get back into it, that I would actually make something of it, but I did, and I just don't give up on it because you feel like it's not good enough because somebody's gonna love it. And you might not think it's great, but somebody does. She does. She loved it. Ashton loves my book over there.
I did,
I'm
and I was,
definitely gonna read it because
and I'm like
Ashton
a
was very serious
fangirl.
in it, and you had me a
I
thriller.
know. She's my first fangirl, and I'm just like, yeah.
I've been spreading it around, and I hope to continue spreading all of that around. You'll love it, and I think your audiobook too. So many people I know use
I cannot wait.
audiobooks. I
Can
know it's a whole different
Oh,
ballgame. It's
I've
cool.
never dared to enter into audiobooks. I don't know.
Just
I
to
mean, I don't
listen.
even listen to them. It's just
Oh,
I'm like I can't bring myself to listen to a book. I don't know. I
oh.
need to feel the book and like the pages. I can't even read on my.
I do
audiobooks
it all.
have
I
come
only
a long
sorry.
way from what they used to. They've come a long way. Audiobooks have. And I've started listening to them again. I haven't listened to an audiobook in years. And I finally, like the last time I listened to one, it was like I think it was on a CD or a cassette
Yes,
tape.
from the
So
library.
I,
Yes,
from
I
the
never enjoyed
library.
those.
And now I went with ACX, and they are great. I really suggest that if you want to look into that, I had a lot of fun doing it, and all there's so many narrators to choose from. There's so many, and they're all multi-talented. Like, I mean, there might be a few of them that you might not like, but I met a lot of people on there, like 40 narrators for Fable Friends, and it was a
Oh
hard
wow.
decision. It was a hard decision. But I had my kids helped me pick out the narrator for that. So it took the heat off of me. But I was
Oh,
like, my kids are gonna choose who the narrator is. So I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. But they did a really good job with choosing it. And the narrator actually had his daughters do some of the voices for some of the characters in it too.
Oh, that's so cool.
And and so it's like my kids and then his kids helping on the audiobook, and it was like it really touched me, like,
Oh, I
and I
love
know
that.
that it's
yeah.
it was
Ah,
such an experience, and then it turned out so well, um and that's why I'm so excited to get this next one under, you know done. I just want to listen to it all the time. And then I have a sequel coming out. It might be next year by then because I'm still working on this other one, this
So the
young adult
sequel will
series.
be to caller number 5?
Sequel. Yes, yes,
Sequel. Yes. Okay.
oh,
Oh,
yes.
Ashton's excited. She's ready.
And I haven't
oh,
told anybody the title of it, but I've had it thought of since I decided that I was going to do a sequel to it, and I
Oh,
was
so you're
waiting to share
ready.
it tonight, but the next sequel to Caller Number Five, the title will be called Sugar, and it'll be called Sugar, just Sugar.
Sugar.
oh.
I like that.
I'm gonna do the cover and everything. I have it how I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be really cool. And like,
Oh,
um,
yes.
it's gonna. I can't really explain it other than I'm gonna do the cover, and it's gonna be out of sugar. So if that makes sense.
Oh,
I
It's gonna
that
like
leaves a
spell
that.
lot
out
to the
sugar.
imagination.
It's gonna because sugar is so shiny. It's like little diamonds. So
It is. Yes.
Crystal.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I have been waiting to share that, and but yeah, the title's
Oh,
sugar.
I'm honored to know.
Well, I'm so honored you just shared it with us.
Yeah,
So
I was waiting.
yay. Now
I
we'll be waiting, and I definitely have to read the first one. So now I'll be ready for the sequel. I'll be on for it.
Okay, I can't wait until you read it because she loved it, and I know several other people who have read it, and
Well,
I
on your
just
Amazon, there's
Yeah.
comments. I think we were talking 2 weeks ago about when maybe it was even our first time that we talked about when strangers see your things and like it, not your parents, not your sister-in-law, like when actual strangers. And that's what you
Yeah.
probably have been feeling reading these comments on. Well, I just saw the one on Amazon. I'm sure there's other places too, but
Oh yeah.
strangers love
Yeah,
it.
when it's
Strangers.
strangers,
It's
then
different.
yes.
It's so different. It's so different than hearing someone that you know who loves you and would never want to hurt your feelings, and that they want to always support everything that you do.
And
It's
we need
completely
them. We
different.
need them.
Completely different when you hear it from somebody that you don't know from Adam, and they say that they love what you wrote and that they
Right.
read it without any kind of anybody telling them to. They did it on their own will, and you didn't force them to read it.
Yes. And
But
they just did it. And then they leave this brilliant comment, and it's nice. It's nice to have strangers to give you
it
that
is.
positive affirmation feedback. So we basically have 10 minutes left on Wild for anyone who's been listening. We've been discussing writing and more writing. And for the last 10 minutes, I actually want to jump in a little bit into publication. And your books look beautiful.
Thank you.
How did you decide how you're going to get published, and how you were going to proceed with that? I'm sorry, that's my phone, but
Oh, that's
continue. We'll ignore the ringing.
um, well, when I first started writing, there wasn't a lot that I could do. I couldn't really afford to do much, but fast forward 17 plus years later, after all that, here's Amazon. Hey, you can upload your book for free, and then it takes the cost out of the printing and everything, and that really that really did it for me. Just knowing that I could do it. And I mean, I think it's a really good avenue for a lot of indie writers that want
Mhm.
to do that, and that we're starting out and we don't have a lot of funds to really back up
Right.
all of our aspirations that we have, that we want to do with our future. But it's a start. You can
Hmm.
start there. You can you can hire an artist, or you can do the art yourself like I did, and then do it that way, and be proud of the work that you did. Because I it publishing on Amazon, and doing all the formatting and stuff, and it's not easy. It's not easy for a lot of people, but everything that is worth it, you have to work at. And
Hmm.
it took me a while to get used to it and to figure it out. But like, I'm proud that I did it, and I'm looking forward to moving in other places.
Hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I I can you want me to like, you need anything else? Other than that, I mean, I uploaded it to there. I did the illustrations. I did all of the editing myself to the best that I could, because I was a little rusty after being out of
Hmm.
school for so long. I gave it up. I did. I gave up on my dreams, and then I picked them back up. And so um, it was so hard putting it out there. Like, it's
Yeah,
scary.
I
It's
understand. I
scary.
can completely relate to that. And so when you speak, you do pull on my heartstrings, and I want to be like, me too, me too.
Everything you're saying since the
Yes.
beginning, my little heart, like my little fangirl heart, is just
And that's
full.
that's also what I want to do. Is I want to be able to help encourage other people that were discouraged like I was, and
Hmm.
that they didn't believe in themselves. And I want them to believe in themselves, because I mean, if you don't, then who is? I mean,
Oh,
so
yes.
just
That is
just
so true,
just do it.
and
I
such
mean,
I mean,
Nike, just
like,
do it. But
I was sitting weird. I apologize. I just jumped into the camera. If anyone caught that, I apologize. My knee is just feeling old and cranky. Uh,
I applaud y'all for sitting still. When I watched that last one, I'm like, I know I can't sit still, but it's
I know
so ridiculous.
I'm
Y'all
moving
are,
back and forth.
I have
so good.
body
Y'all are
movement
wonderful.
happening below.
I'm sitting in this chair. You can't really see. I'm kind of not doing much, but
Y'all are good. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Elizabeth, thank you for telling us so much. I love hearing all your inspirational, if you want to call, like, you are super inspiring, but you're so helpful. Like, it's so helpful. Like, I'm a writer, and I just, these are great words that I needed to hear.
yeah,
Seriously needed to
I
Oh
hear.
just
yeah, I
I
agree.
love helping people. I do. I mean, I I would want somebody to help me if I needed help. So I just try to be that person that somebody else can, look toward and get some advice from if I'm able to do it. Some things I'm
Mhm.
not very good. I can't give advice on, but I can give advice on writing. I love it. I love art. I love all of it. So, I mean, I'm here. If you ever need anything, if you ever need to ask any questions, I'm here all the time.
We might
And
have
Thank
to do
you.
another writing session show.
I know. I
I'd love to
know.
come back. If y'all have me, I will come back and I
Oh, of
will,
course.
or I'll ramble on.
This
Yes,
no, you have not rambled. This is
you
everything.
haven't, and I think yeah, you've covered everything. I feel like my mind is like now processing. I'm like, this was definitely good. I really need to invest in some journals and pens and carry a notebook with me everywhere I go. And I remember I used to do this, but again, I was probably like 15 when I did this. And then I did take that long break because I punished myself and I didn't write for a very long time. And then I would write and then I'd be too scared to edit my
No,
words.
editing is a nightmare. That's a
Yeah.
whole that's a whole other thing.
It's a different person when I go back and edit what I've
Right.
written.
I'm like,
I'm
who
not
was?
even that person anymore.
You're not the person that wrote it. You're a different
Yeah.
person. And that's a completely different
And that
almost
makes a lot of
I
sense.
enter it as a job skill basic. I enter it and I have different eyes and I'm rereading and it's going, maybe it's not making sense, but I finally learned that I do enjoy the editing process. I actually do enjoy it. Um even with my own work. And I
Ooh.
think that's a lot to say because I hate rereading my work or even rewatching my videos. I like to think I put it out there, it's fine, and I don't have to go back to it. But in reality, you have to continuously go back, reread, review.
That's how we learn.
Oh,
Exactly.
And I
And then
say that
pat
to
yourself on
myself,
the
like,
back
maybe
and
I'll
say,
learn this.
this is the best work. And then, I have gold and then take a breath and write something else. So that's my new mantra. But you definitely helped me with I should invest in journals.
like
Oh, you
anytime,
encouraged me so much, Elizabeth.
anytime. I'm. If you need any to bounce any ideas or stories, I love. I'll I'll help you. I'll
Oh,
do
we'll
whatever I can.
message. Oh, we'll message.
I
And then
know, I know.
we'll be in touch.
Message me on Instagram. I will read.
Okay,
I will read
Instagram.
what you wrote.
oh, oh, you're such a love. That's amazing.
I love writing, and I just want to support other people who write because, well, I mean, what we say out loud and what we write, I mean, it has power. And I think a lot more people um, would really benefit from writing. I mean, it is and it isn't becoming a dying art. It really, I mean, there's a lot of things about writing that isn't the same as it used to be. Just like,
True.
we focus on writing on our computers instead of writing things down on paper. And I suggest writing on paper because it always helps me remember things better, and it's different. It's something about writing and drawing something on the paper, and it just
As
it just means
opposed
something.
to
It just really does.
clicking.
It's different. It's different, and it's just I don't know. I guess I'm old school. I
Well,
love
I am old
Well,
school
I'm
too. I
with you. I'm
totally get it. I
saying,
also love the smell of like ink on paper.
I love a new
paper.
notebook and a new pen. That's like one of my
Okay, my
favorite things.
daughter's sitting next to
Yeah.
me. I think she understands.
No,
You like the ink
I
on paper
don't.
too?
I don't.
Okay, never mind. She's not in this old school group.
She's
Oh,
She does not like
what does
ink
she
on paper.
prefer?
No.
But definitely go get a stack of journals and a new pack of pens and just sit them around the house. And then
Yes,
if you
I love
have an
that.
idea, write it down. I have them all over the place.
And with that, I believe that is all the time we have. So thank you so much for being on Wild. I'm your host, Diana. I'm here with my co host, Ashton. And we've been talking to Elisabeth, who's an author of a few books and working on a lot more. And I do recommend for anyone who got